Just good. Hi. Where did the hymn go?
It's only in Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, no, okay, fine. Okay.
I was thinking about that today.
Okay, the gates of repentance had it in both places. The gates of repentance had it in both places. Okay. Okay, I'm going to open the ark. Shana Tova and Shabbat Shalom. It is both. It is a marvelous year. It is Yom Kippur. It is Shabbat. In the Torah, Yom Kippur itself is called the Shabbat Shabbaton, the ultimate Sabbath. And so I guess we'd have to call it the Shabbat Shabbaton when the Sabbath of Sabbaths occurs on Shabbat itself. So there's a nigun. A nigun is a song without words that we truly love, or that I've loved over the years. And the nice thing about it, as a nigun, there are no words. All you have to do is try to get with the melody. And it goes like this. Die, 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 from the beginning. Die, 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 die. Swaying is permitted. Die, 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 da 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 This is not a performance. Die, 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 Last time. Die, 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 Now turn around and say to somebody Shabbat Shalom. Like you're a nice person. Every one of you is a very nice person. Hopefully to somebody you don't know. And after you finish, we'll ask you to pick up your Mishkan HaNefesh for Yom Kippur and turn it to page 9. On page 9, you will find the blessing for candles to start the holiday. Notice that the memorial candle is already lit. We'll ask you to rise as you are able to rise. Well, we got to get this mic closer to you, kiddo.
The human spirit is the lamp of God, searching out what lies within us. Guided by the flame of conscience, on this sacred night, we search for truth. Shine your light upon us as we strive to serve you. May we find safety in your faithful love. We light the flame of healing and forgiveness on this atonement night. We give thanks for love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu shel Shabbat v'shel Yom HaKippurim.
Amen.
Amen.
Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, teaching us holiness through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing light on Shabbat and Yom Kippur.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Please be seated for a moment. We have two readings before we actually begin the preparation to hear the Kol Nidre 3 times. We're at the bottom of page 10. For those who must eat during Yom Kippur. Rofecho basar, healer of all living creatures, I thank you for the breath that is in me, for the community of Israel that lives for the possibilities of today and tomorrow. May my eating be as a fast. May it be dedicated to you, to tshuva, to the renewal and restoration of my relationship to you, to others, and to myself. On the facing page at the top, the sages of the Mishnah teach on the Day of Atonement, these are forbidden: eating and drinking, washing for pleasure, perfuming the body, sexual relations, and wearing leather shoes. Together,
it shall be, says the Bible, a Sabbath of Sabbaths for you, and you shall practice self-denial. From evening to evening you shall observe this, your Sabbath.
Abstention, affliction, self-denial, it is a Sabbath, a full rest, a complete stop, a cessation from everyday pleasure. Some wish us an easy fast thinking only of food. It is more than that. Eating and drinking,
washing, perfuming, and sex. But leather shoes, why this? Of all these pleasant acts, wearing shoes is the most public, the one most seen by others. But perhaps it is because shoes are a symbol of the path our lives take, the choices we make along the way, the roads not taken, a symbol of our journey in the year to come.
Please turn ahead to page 15 in the middle of the page. And after that reading, we'll have the opening of the ark, and our teens will come up to help sing. They were not?
Second service.
In second service, they will sing. So they will not do that. Correct. We will have them come at the second service.
Correct.
Already I'm making mistakes I haven't gotten through this Yom Kippur. Kol Nidre, a chant that begins in a whisper and rises to a cry. On this night of promises remembered, each soul in solitude communes with the soul of the universe. God, from this day of atonement to the next, may we reach it in peace. All Israel makes these vows: to turn from wrong, dishonesty, and greed, to walk in the path of justice and right. And yet we know our weakness, how prone we are to fail. Help us to keep our word. Help us to act with humility and integrity. We seek pardon and forgiveness. We seek your radiance and light. Please rise as the ark is open.
Or zaru al tzadik, ol yishrei lev simcha. 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 Or zaru al tzadik, ol yishrei lev simcha.
V'shiva shel mala, v'shiva shel mata, al dat hamakom ve'al dat hakahal, anu matirim lehitpalel im havaryanim. With one voice, assembled sages, past and present, declare, all may pray as one on this night of repentance. Let none be excluded from our community of prayer. With one voice, God and congregation proclaim, all may pray as one on this day of return. Let all find a place in this sacred assembly. Turn the page.
Kol Nidre vesarei v'acharmei v'konamei v'chinuyei v'kinusei u'shvut din darna v'acharmei v'konamei v'kinuyei v'kinusei u'shvut din darna u'ishtabana u'reacharimna v'dasarna al nafshatana miyom kippurim zeh ad yom kippurim haba Vesara la esari ushavuatana la shavuot. Kol Nidre vesarei v'charamei v'konamei v'chinuyei v'kinusei ushavuot. Din darna udishtagana udiafurimna Yom Kippurim ze Ad Yom Kippurim haba Shvikin, shvitin, v'telin, v'vutalin, l'asheririm, v'l'kayamim. Nidrana la nidre ve'esarana la esare ashavutana la shavuot.
Together in English. All vows, resolves, and commitments, vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication, that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this day of atonement until the next day of atonement. May it find us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows, our resolves shall not be resolves, and our oaths, they shall not be oaths. v'nislach l'chol adav b'nei Yisrael, l'ger hagabatocham ki l'chol ha'am bishgaga. All shall be forgiven, the entire community of Israel and the stranger who lives in their midst, for all have gone astray in error. Slach na la'avon ha'am hazeh k'godel chazdecha, v'chasher nasata la'am hazeh mimitzrayim ad hena. Together, Moses prayed.
As you have been faithful to this people. Yes. V'sham nemar vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha.
On the facing page, I bow, I face the ground, I fall before the Most High. Farther than heaven's heaven are you, nearer shall my bones. What have I to offer you but my spirit? How shall I lift my eyes to you? How can my tongue give praise? The signs of your love are countless, as are my sins, more numerous than the sands of the sea. So guide me toward the right path, my teacher, my keeper of faith, source of all that I know. When my heart speaks, I hear the words myself, and you, may you hear me too. We remain standing for the Baruch Hu. Please be seated. On 25, day and night are yours, creative spirit of the universe. The muted colors of twilight, the radiance of dawn. Yours are the spreading wings of light, the deepening shadows of darkness, an ever-changing drama. Together, in the human heart
too, the struggle between darkness and light unfolds. From sunlit heights of generosity, the human heart sinks to the gloomy depths of selfishness. Although we fall, you give us the strength to rise again. You call on those who hurt through word or deed to break free from wrongdoing and return to you. All who hear your call to goodness are embraced. All who reject emptiness and evil find acceptance from you.
We come into your presence this night of Kol Nidre, aware that our shortcomings and weaknesses are many, yet encouraged by your promise of forgiveness, we choose freely the path of repentance, restoring wholeness to our lives and holiness to the world.
Umavir yom umevi laila umavdil ben yom uvein laila Adonai tzevot shemo el chai v'kayam tamidim lo chalenu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hamari v'ravi.
Amen. Please turn the page. If you come to services regularly, you know this tune. We'll encourage you to join in for Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu uvkumenu nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח מדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם בלילה, נגע יומם בלילה. ועבדך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Please rise for Shema. This is the one day a year we're supposed to do the second line, Baruch Shem, in full voice on Yom Kippur.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchuto,
Please sit down. We continue with Ve'ahavta on page 30.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם, ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך.
Please turn the page. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Turn back one page to 31. In the middle. Listen, all you who wrestle with your fate. The intimate and the infinite are one. Trust that unity with your whole heart, doubt and all, with your whole soul, and with all the powers at your command. Remember it, repeat it everywhere, working or resting, sitting or walking, night and morning, alone and to all you love. See it written on your hand, on your brow, in every common place and in every face.
Adonai Elohechem, Amen.
Page 39.
Our sages taught it is proper to mention the exodus from Egypt in our morning prayers, and also at night. We celebrate the going out from Egypt in the morning light, full of confidence and vigor as we enter the new day. But in the evening, weary from the day's exertions, cast down and fearful at the coming of night, what can the Exodus teach us then? Our nighttime prayer brings hope and trust in the future. As God did not abandon our people long ago through the long, dark night of exile, so the Holy One will be with us in time to come. To stand by the one you love, that is the true essence of faithfulness, the meaning of emunah. So it is written in the Psalms to proclaim your kindness in the morning and your faithfulness in the nights. Sing with joy in the mornings of your life when light surrounds you and the world seems beautiful and good. And in the evenings of your life, when you dwell in sorrow and the world seems dark, do not despair. We continue on the next page. Witnessing this heroic might, the people thanked and praised God by name, freely accepting the rain of heaven. Then Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you this song of utter joy.
Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, God Yisrael.
Amen.
We continue with the words of Hashkivenu, which will hopefully be appearing on at least one wall at some point. Great.
One in, one not. We'll see what happens. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
We'll sing that again.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, lechaim, lechaim. Let's read together the reading based on Hashkivenu in the middle of the page, the peace of wild things, together. When despair for the world grows in me,
and I wake in the night at least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoinu l'chaim l'shalom me'ata v'ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim.
Amen. Well, turn the page. It's Shabbat, which means we get to do V'shamro. This is a tune that's almost 45 years old. It goes like this. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lazod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam Berit olam beini ubein b'nei Yisrael Oti le'olam Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai Et hashamayim ve'et haaretz Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayi nafesh Shabbat vayi nafesh Shabbat vayi nafesh. At the top of the facing page.
For on this day atonement shall be made for you to purify you from all your wrongs, and pure you shall be in the presence of Adonai.
Yom hazeh yechaper lechem letaher etchem mikol chatoteichem lifnei Adonai titaru.
Please rise as you are able.
Yitkadal v'yitkada shemei Rabba.
Amen.
V'yalmad yivrach chirutei v'yamelich malchutei b'chayeichon uvyomeichon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'hagala uv'izman kariv yimeru.
Amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'li'ol mi'al maya yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei l'kudashah Le'ela u'le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran mi'alema v'meru.
Before we begin the Amidah, on page 46, there are the verses right before we get from the psalm that from which Adonai Svatai comes from. Let us join together. Have mercy upon me, O God,
as befits your faithfulness. In keeping with your abundant compassion, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly of my iniquity, and purify me of my sin. For I recognize my transgressions and am ever conscious of my sin.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agidi latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. זכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב והושיע, מוריד אתה, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל הרחמים, זוכר יצורף לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
Top of page 53.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה.
Please be seated. We continue with the sanctification of God's name by sensing God's holiness through our awe. And so, in your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe. Turn our fear to reverence. Let us be witnesses of wonder, receiving all nature as a prayer come alive. We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power. We yearn for the connection with all that lives, doing your will with wholeness of heart. Awe-inspiring is your creation, all-encompassing your transcendent name. Page 55. You know how to create a heart of stone that you can lift. You know how to create a heart that will know how to get out of pits, that cast itself, that was sold. You know how to warm with your hand a heart frozen from too much. You know. Page 56, we join together. And so, in your holiness, give the righteous the gift of a vision bright with joy, a world where evil has no voice, and the rule of malevolence fades like wisps of smoke. Good people everywhere will celebrate the stunning sight of Aaron's Tzedakah from the earth. Page 58. V'timloch ata Adonai levadecha al kol ma'asecha. You and you alone, Adonai, will reign over creation upon Mount Zion, home of your presence, and in Jerusalem, a city set apart by you. As the psalmist believed, Adonai will reign eternally, your God, Zion, for all generations. Hallelujah. Kadosh ata v'nora shemecha ve'ein Eloah mibaladecha. You are holy, and your name is holy. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness.
Baruch atah Adonai HaMelech HaKadosh.
Amen.
Page 60. Ata v'chartanu mikol ha'amim, ahavta otanu v'ratzita banu, v'ramamtanu mikol halashonot v'kidashtanu v'mitzvotecha, v'kerevtanu malkeinu la'avodatecha v'shimcha hagadol v'hakadosh aleinu karata. Together. You chose us with love to be messengers of mitzvot, and through us you made known your aspirations. Among all the many peoples, you gave us a pathway to holiness. Among all the great nations, you lifted us and made yourself our sovereign. And so we seek you and serve you and celebrate our nearness to your presence. Your great and sacred name has become our calling. The next page.
ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה את יום השבת הזה לקדושה ולמנוחה ואת יום הכיפורים הזה למחילה ולסליחה ולכפרה ולמחול בו את כל עוונותינו באהבה מקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים.
Page 63. Like smoke above the altar may a memory of us ascend and come before you. As Israel once came to you with offerings from the flock, so we bring to you the offerings of our mouth, not lip service, but heartfelt prayer. So the prophet taught, "Return, O Israel, to Adonai your God, for you have fallen because of your sin. Take words with you and return to Adonai. Accept the words we set before you, awkward and imperfect as they are, our hesitant questions, our corrosive doubts. Accept too our silences, our thoughts that rise in the stillness, our faith that coheres for a fragile instant, then dissipates like smoke above the altar."
Page 64. זכרנו אדוני אלוהינו בו לטובה ופקדנו בו לברכה יושיענו בו לחיים.
Eternal our God, remember us.
Amen.
Be mindful of us.
Amen.
And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
On the facing page 65, they said redemption would come only when no one's expecting it anymore. And one night they sat silent and awake at the thresholds of their stores and homes and didn't expect redemption. And when dawn rose, there were tears rolling down from all the rooftops. Page 66.
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו מחל עוונותינו ביום השבת הזה וביום הכיפורים הזה מחל לעבר פשענו וחטאותינו מנגד עיניך כאמור אנוכי ומוחה פשעיך למעני וחטאותיך לא אזכור נאמר מחיתיך פשעיך וכנען חטאותיך שובה אלי כי גמתיך ונאמר כי ביום הזה יכפר עליכם נדריכם מכל חטאותיכם לפני אדוני תתארו.
From Psalm 130, which is one of the Psalms of the High Holidays, and especially the Psalm of Yom Kippur, we join together. Out of the depths I call to you.
Hear me in this darkness
as I cry for mercy. I long for your word. I wait for your forgiveness. You offer love. You free me from my sins. I yearn for your light, more eager than watchers for the morning. Help me to know your peace. Page 68.
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו רצה במנוחתנו קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך סבנו מטובך ושמחנו בישועתך והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה ורצון שבת קודשך וינוחו וישראל מקדשי שמך.
Together, God who is ours and God of our fathers and mothers, may our rest on this Shabbat bring you pleasure. Lead us to holiness through your mitzvot, and may each of us find a portion of Torah that is ours. You bestow such goodness. Teach us to be satisfied and to know the joy of your salvation. Let your holy Shabbat be our heritage. Embrace freely and with love, and may all our people bring holiness to your name by resting on this day. At the the top of page 70.
כי התן סלחן מישראל ומחלן לשבטי ישורון בכל דור ודור ומבלעדיך אלינו מלך מוכר וסולח אלהתה.
On the facing page, pure heart, clear mind, generous vision, gentle words, the courage to say yes, the strength to say no, steadiness in your work purpose every day.
I set you before me always, mindful of you,
may I never be shaken.
ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מוחל וסולח לעוונותינו ולעוונות עמו בית ישראל, ומעביר אשמותינו בכל שנה בשנה. מלך על כל הארץ, מקדש השבת בישראל. מלך על כל הארץ, מקדש השבת בישראל. מלך על כל הארץ, מקדש השבת בישראל ויום הכיפורים.
Amen.
Page 72. Page 75. A beautiful poem by Mary Oliver. It doesn't have to be the blue iris. It could be weeds in a vacant lot or a few small stones. Just pay attention, then patch a few words together, and don't try to make them elaborate. This isn't a contest, but the doorway into thanks and a silence in which another voice may speak. On the next page, we join together. And for all these gifts, God of majesty, may your name come to be blessed and praised, our gratitude a daily offering until the end of time.
Inscribe your covenant partners for a life of goodness, and may all life resound with gratitude and faith in praise of your name.
God, you free us and strengthen us.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo.
Hatov Shemecha Olechana Lehodot.
Amen.
Page 78.
Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Sing with us. Shalom. It's a waltz. Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Ki atahu melech Adon,
Lechol HaShalom. Ki atahu melech Adon. Lechol HaShalom.
Tov beinecha,
Levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה
Besefer Chaim, Beracha v'Shalom, Beracha v'Shalom, u'Parnasa Tova, Beracha v'Shalom, Nezacher v'nikatev lefanecha, Anachnu v'chol Amcha Beit Yisrael, Berachayim tovim l'shalom, Baruch atah Adonai, Oseh HaShalom.
With prayers of peace on our hearts, we offer the prayers of our hearts in a moment of silent prayer.
You know, we could do Oseh Shalom for the 88,000th time. We could. One of the most profound Jewish thinkers and singer-songwriters who did not get a Nobel Prize was a man named Leonard Cohen, who died about a year ago. And he wrote a song of great faith called If It Be Your Will. It's too low for you.
If it be your will that I speak no more, and my voice be still as it was before, I will speak no more, I shall abide until I am spoken for, if it be your will. If it be your will that a
voice be true. From this broken hill, I will sing to you. From this broken hill, all your praises they shall ring. If it be your will to let me sing, if it be your will, if there is a choice, let the rivers fill, let the hills rejoice. Let your mercy spill on all these burning hearts in hell. If it be your will to make us well and draw us near and bind us tight, all your children here in their rags of light, in our rags of light, all dressed to kill and end this night, if it be your will, if it be your will.
We continue with the prayers, asking for God's forgiveness. The reading that precedes the Yeshamna is the creative reading on page 83. When I was young and learned the alphabet, life was open to me. A was full of aspiration, B was for beauty, C for confidence, and D for dreams. And so on through the list, no fewer than 26 opportunities, 26 possibilities. And yet I fear that with the passage of time, I've squandered them, creating instead A's of apathy, B's of brusqueness, and C's of coarseness. Help me then to return to that innocence. Let the letters be letters once again. Let them rise to the heavens and form into the words that you know I wish to say. The facing page at the bottom.
Hashamnu, Magadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi, Evinu, Vehirshanu, Zadnu, Hamasnu, Tafalnu Sheker, Yatsnura, Kizavnu, Latsnu, Maradnu, Niatsnu, Sararnu, Avinu, Pashanu, Sararnu, Kishinu Ore, Rashanu, Shichatnu, Tiavnu, Tainu, Titanu.
We continue with the Vidui Rabbah, the long confession on page 86. Al chet shechatanu lefenecha b'zadon uvishgaga, ve'al chet shechatanu lefenecha b'dibur peh, together.
The ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths.
And if you know the Hebrew, please join in as we say these words.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha be'imutz halev, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha betifsut peh.
The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha bechachash uvchazav, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha berechilut.
The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'flilut, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'zilzul horim umorim.
The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and the harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'vidui peh, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'hona'at rea.
The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chozek yad, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'masav matan.
The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business.
Page 89. We continue by sharing our failures of integrity. We join together.
We wrong you when we wrong ourselves.
For our failures of integrity, Adonai, we seek forgiveness. For passing judgment without knowing the facts, and for distorting facts to suit our purposes. For succumbing in silence to social pressure, and for acquiescing in beliefs we find offensive. For using others' bad behavior to excuse our own, and for blaming others for our mistakes and poor decisions. For pretending to emotions we do not feel, and for appearing to be other than what we are. For condemning in our children the faults we tolerate in ourselves, and for tolerating in ourselves the faults we condemn in our parents.
Failures of justice. We dishonor you when we dishonor our society. For our failures of justice, Adonai, we seek forgiveness together.
For being indifferent to deprivation and hunger,
while accepting a culture of self-indulgence and greed.
For abuse of power in boardrooms, courtrooms, and classrooms, and for accepting the neglect of children and elders, the ill and the weak.
For permitting social inequalities to prevail, and for lacking the vision to transcend our selfishness. For glorifying violence and turning hastily to war, and for allowing history to repeat itself. For behaviors that risk the future of our planet, and for wreaking havoc on our only true inheritance,
God's creation.
Page 91. Our failures of love. We sin against you when we hurt one another. For our failures of love, Adonai, we seek forgiveness together.
For exploiting one another for our own pleasure, and for the wounds we cause through betrayal and deception. For withholding affection from those we claim to love, and for using love to control our spouses and partners, our children and our parents. For abandoning friends and siblings whose love has sustained us, and for neglecting those who love us when they need us most. For harboring in our relationships mistrust, boredom, and disloyalty, and for rejecting our partner's efforts at repair and renewal.
For possessiveness, jealousy, and avarice, and for lashing out in anger at those who are closest to us.
Who among us is blameless? Who shall say, I have not erred, I have not wronged or sinned? Together we abuse, we brutalize, we covet, we deceive, we enslave, we feud, we gossip, we humiliate, we injure, we judge unfairly, we kill, we lie, we manipulate, we neglect, we ostracize, we plagiarize, we quarrel, we rage, we shame, we turn away, we undermine, we vilify, we waste. We exploit the earth. We yearn too much for yesterday and too easily
forget Zion.
Our sins are an alphabet of woe. Together, help us, Holy One,
to follow your ways of integrity, justice,
and love. Teach us to seek forgiveness with humility and an open heart.
Selach lanu mechalanu Please turn to page 93. You know, we really just hammered our chests a whole lot, right? So many things, but there's so much hope in this room as well. And so we read a different kind of confession. Our God, our Creator and Guide, let us speak now of the healing acts by which we bring you into the world, the acts of repair that make you a living presence in our lives. Allah tikun shetikanu lefanecha, together for the act
of healing we have done openly or anonymously, and for the act of repair we have done without personal gain.
Allah tikun shetikanu lefanecha, for the act
we have done by seeking forgiveness, and for the act of repair we have done by forgiving others.
Allah tikun shetikanu lefanecha,
for the act of healing for the act of repair we have done by opening our hearts.
Allah tikun shetikanu lefanecha,
for the act of healing we have done by comforting the mourner and visiting the sick. And for the act of repair we have done by pursuing justice and human rights, fairness and civility.
Allah tikun shetikanu lefanecha, for
the act of healing we have done by making peace between one person and another, and for the act of repair we have done by protecting nature and all its creatures.
Allah tikun shetikanu lefanecha, for the act of healing
we have done by teaching our children the ways of peace, and for the act of repair we have done by teaching our children the ways of Torah.
Allah tikun shetikanu lefanecha,
for the act of healing we have done by honoring elders and loving the stranger. For the act of repair we have done in response to your commandment, choose life and blessing.
Al kulam, together, and all these
bring near the day when you shall be one and your name shall be one.
Please turn to 98 for Shema Kolenu.
Shema Kolenu Adonai Eloheinu, Husverachem Aleinu, V'kabel berachamim uvratzon et tefilateinu, Hashivenu, Adonai lecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu kekedem, Chadesh yameinu kekedem. Amarenu hazina Adonai bina chagigenu, Yihul ratzonim refinu ve'gyon libenu lefanecha, Adonai tzurinu ve'gohaleinu. Al tashlichenu milefanecha, ve'ruach kodshecha al tikach mimenu. Al tashlichenu li'eit zikna, kichlot kochenu al tazvenu. Al tazvenu, Adonai Eloheinu, al tirchak mimenu, ki lecha Adonai hochalnu, ata taneh Adonai Eloheinu.
Page 100. God of forgiveness, we come before you in need of compassion. At Sinai, you spoke words that guide our lives to this day. But our ancestors lost faith in you, lost hope in their Redeemer. With one voice, they had promised, we will do and obey, and yet, stiff-necked, they broke their word, adoring an idol of gold. How wondrous your compassion in the face of their rebellion, your forgiveness in that moment of human weakness and doubt. Together,
we too have broken,
showing mercy. Thousandth generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, granting pardon.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Habayim v'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed l'Alafim, Notzer Avon v'Feshet.
rasha v'chata v'nakeh.
On page 101, together, as parents show tenderness to their children, may you show mercy to those who worship you. Like the heavens that tower above the earth, your love is powerful for those who revere you.
Liberation is a gift from God, a blessing upon your people. You are the God of all we can perceive, our haven, the God of Yaakov.
And you are the God of all that is beyond our perception. The one who has faith in you is fortunate. Sovereign God, show us the way to freedom. Answer us on this day of our calling out to you. Moses prayed, as you have been faithful to this people ever since Egypt, please forgive their failings now, in keeping with your boundless love. And God responded, I forgive as you have asked. Page 103. We join together. Consider the clay in the potter's hand, stretched and rolled as the artist desires. So are we in your hand, our loving protector. Look to the covenant, not to our imperfection. Consider the stone in the mason's hand, broken or kept whole as the stonecutter sees fit. So are we in your hand, creator of life and death. Look to the covenant, not our imperfection.
Consider the iron in the welder's hand, held
to the flame or removed at will.
So are we in your hand, provider for the poor and afflicted. Look to the covenant, not our imperfection. Consider the helm in the seafarer's hand, steering or drifting as the sailor wills it. So are we in your hand, our God of goodness and forgiveness. Look to the covenant, not our imperfection.
Consider the glass in the glazier's hand,
rounded and melted as the artist desires. So are we in your hand, the one who pardons our errors and our wrongdoing. Look to the covenant, not our imperfection. On the facing page.
Please join me.
The words are easy.
At the top of the page. Ki hine kachomer b'yad hayotzer b'tzoto markiv u'b'tzoto mekatzer ken anachnu b'yad chesed yotzer labrita beit b'yad tefen hayetzer. Bottom of the page. Ki hine kitzuchit b'yad hazageg b'tzoto chogeg u'b'tzoto megmogeg ken anachnu b'yad chamavir tzadon u'shegeg labrita beit v'al tefen hayetzer.
Page 104, we join together. Our God and God of our fathers, God of our mothers, do not abandon us, leaving us in shame. Do not dissolve the covenant you made with us. Rather, draw us near to your teaching. Show us your ways and teach us how to live.
Let us be open to your love, ready to revere your very being. Cut away the hardness of our hearts, so that we may turn to you with all our heart's devotion, truly repentant.
For the sake of your great name, pardon our failures, forgive our moral weakness. As in the holy words of your psalmist, Adonai, as befits your name, forgive my sin, no matter how great. Page 106.
An old favorite.
Ki anu amecha v'yata Eloheinu, anu amecha v'yata avi.
ve'ata goralenu. Anu tzonecha ve'ata ro'enu. Anu charmecha ve'ata notreinu. Anu fulatecha ve'ata yotreinu. Anu rayatecha ve'ata dodeinu. Anu segulatecha ve'ata keroveinu. Anu amecha ve'ata melkeinu. Anu mamirecha ve'ata mamireinu. We're supposed to read on 113 before Avinu Malkeinu, but there is a debate that's been raging throughout the Reform Rabbinate all this week. Because most times, Yom Kippur does not occur on Shabbat. You may know this because you may know your prayers so well that you know that on the daily grind of our Amidah, not grind, but the daily pattern and ritual, we ask God for many things, for ourselves, our person, our community, our world. And the idea is on Shabbat, God's supposed to get a break from all of our hucking. Are we hucking when we say Avinu Malkeinu? And what we found out from our teacher, Rabbi Mark Wachowski, professor of Talmud and Jewish law at Hebrew Union College, is that the Ashkenazim think that it's hucking, but the Sephardim don't. And since the Sephardim are more joyful, we're going to be Sephardi tonight for Avinu Malkeinu.
We're on page 115. Bottom of page 100. Are we?
Please rise as the ark is open.
Page.
Aren't we reading this? We're on 114. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu. Together.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice.
Avinu Malkeinu chatanu lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu chamol aleinu v'al olaleinu v'tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our families.
Avinu Malkeinu kaladever v'cherev v'ra'av me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu kalekol tsaru mastin me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu kotvenu b'sefer chayim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu chadesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu malei yadeinu mebirchotecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings.
Avinu Malkeinu harem keren meshichecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our eyes behold the dawn of redemption.
Avinu Malkeinu na al teshivenu rekam milfanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we pray, do not turn us away from you
with nothing.
Avinu Malkeinu kabel barachim v'ratzon tfilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace it.
Avinu Malkeinu aseh imanu leman shemecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu aseh lemancha im lo lemanenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake, if not for ours.
Avinu Malkeinu en lanu melech ela ata.
Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are our sovereign.
Avinu Malkeinu p'tach sha'arei shamayim letfilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer.
Avinu Malkeinu shma kolenu chus v'rachem aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice, treat us with tender compassion.
Avinu Malkeinu chonenu v'yanenu ki ein banu ma'asim aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Together.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful,
answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu v'aneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah
I remember it oh so well. A friend had ditched me to play with another friend. I was 9 years old. I felt rotten, and I tried hanging around the house on a Saturday, but my mom was having none of it. The weather's nice, go out and play. I don't wanna. She glared at me so hard I ran out the front door. I stayed out for hours, long after the time I should have been home for dinner. If she wanted me out of the house, I'd show her. And my dad finally got in the car and went after me. He found me in the middle of town walking beside a stream. He drove 2 miles an hour and asked me to get into the car. And since in those days I was really a piece of work, I said, "No, you can't make me." He pulled the car over and parked. As he got out and approached me, I was afraid he was going to pick me up and throw me into the station wagon, but instead, he fell in, walking beside me. I continued to mope. My father finally said, "Jamie, when will this day come again?" And as a kid, I thought, that's easy, next week. He said, "Try again." I said, "Okay, next month." But that was wrong too. I looked at my dad and said, "Next year?" He shook his head and said, "Jamie, that's next year. It's not this day. This day will never come again." The realization rocked me in my kid brain. I could brood about how cruel life was, but that day would never come back to me. Each day is different, each day a challenge, each day a gift. We sometimes have to be roughly reminded of the simple fact that I learned when I was 9. Kol Nidre is just such a reminder. This night is not the same as last year's or any others. And tomorrow in the Torah we will read, "You are standing here this day, all of you, before Adonai your God, to enter into the covenant of Adonai. I make this covenant not with you alone, but with those who are standing here this day and those who are not with us this day." Our sages ask, who are the ones who were not with our people this day? And they give a bold answer, one that defies logic. They say, you and me, all the future generations of our people, born Jews and converts, those who choose to stand with us. Jews and those who choose to stand with us. All of us time travelers. We stand here this night in this unique moment, a moment foreshadowed by the Torah. This moment, this night, this day will never come again. Atem nitzavim kulchem hayom. You are standing here, all of you, this day. Look around. I mean it. Look around right now. Look at the hundreds who are surrounding you. Think of the hundreds who will be coming here in the next hour, and then add all of them together. Over the course of Yom Kippur, 2,000 people will be here at this holy moment. All of us this day. This is the 30th time that I've stood with you, our Temple Sinai family, on Kol Nidre. This is the 30th time you have allowed me to speak to you from my heart about what is going on in our Jewish lives. It is an extraordinary honor and responsibility, and I stand before you this night humbled beyond words. The humility does not only stem from inadequacy, it comes from knowing so many of you so well. We have lived through birth and death, b'nai mitzvah and weddings, through harrowing hospital crises and crowning personal achievements. We have shared injury, unspeakable sadness, remarkable recoveries, personal tales of endurance and sheer will. When I wrestle with the verse, Atem nitzavim kulchem hayom, all of you standing here this day, I think of you and your stories. My heart overflows with them tonight, and I would like to share 4 of them with you, but only with a caveat, with a warning. I have changed names and details of these accounts that I will share. Let no one think that their private lives were opened for public display this night. All these stories are composites of many individuals and families and our shared times over the last 3 decades. Atem nitzavim kulchem hayom. Who all is standing here this night? A couple, Shana and Sam, stand here having achieved 55 years of loving marriage. They weathered the storms of raising children, mastering challenges, careers, and crises. They have danced life's dance so well, they know each other's moves without uttering a word. But now the music has changed, and they don't know how to dance the new steps. Health issues claim every moment of their time. Life is now a round of appointments endlessly with doctors, specialists in clinics, and medicines eat up their monthly budget. Their children live out of town. The kids care. They call, they visit when they can. But Shayna and Sam have to handle all the challenges of daily living as they age into infirmity. Sam is having trouble keeping his temper. He forgets things constantly. He can't hold a fork without dropping it, which gets him even angrier, and he refuses help because he gets embarrassed. So Shayna gets embarrassed instead when he loses it in public. They're bewildered and scared, afraid their life savings will run out and leave them poor and dependent on their children. They are afraid as they have never been, and they stand here Kol Nidre night in fear. We feel for them. We have even offered them help that they have politely refused because they are still so proud. Atem nitzavim kulchem hayom. Who all is standing here tonight? Antonia stands here tonight. Her husband left her 10 years ago, but she has rebounded nicely. She's in her early 50s, and her kids have flown the coop. Having endured the shock of rejection and living on one income, she found her groove. She went to community college. She learned computer programming and latched on with a startup who were looking for people not only with computer skills, but life skills. She had both. She makes a good living. But beyond her success, she is nagged by a sense that she is missing something, not socially. She's never lacked for friends or dates. No, she wonders, what is it all for? The struggle, the pain, even the joy of her life. What does any of it mean? Antonia was surprised when she found some of her answers here at this synagogue. She hated her temple as a kid, but now searching to fill a hole inside, she found she was ready to look at Judaism and frankly at life with a different set of questions than before. She no longer insists that if our tradition isn't all true, then it's all false. She learned that Bible stories for children were just that, stories for children. She was amazed to find out that the Torah is unafraid to take on issues of conflicts, violence, sex, greed, power, and privilege. And she finally asked me, why didn't you teach any of this to me when I was a kid? It would have been helpful to know that Torah was not merely fables. And I have to admit, I did the rabbi thing. I answered a question with a question. Antonia, did you really want those kind of discussions when you were 14? Maybe we taught you simple stories because you weren't ready for the bigger issues. And she exploded. She said, of course I did. I wanted the hard stuff, and I want it now. No one would answer my questions about why Abraham agreed to sacrifice his son or why God chose to flood the world in Noah's time. I wanted to be taken seriously, and I wasn't. Antonia's right. She wasn't taken seriously, and she deserved to be. Antonia speaks for an entire generation that grew up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I have to admit that for the most part, the Jewish world failed that generation. We thought if we simply taught holidays and Bible stories, our job was done. We were wrong. They deserved more. They deserved the best and the most challenging of what Judaism has to offer in mind and spirit. And yet Antonia is here tonight. She is passionate about being Jewish, and she is passionate that it will touch her heart, not roll off her back when Yom Kippur is over. I invite her and all of you who believe you were not taken seriously when you were younger to come to my new Wednesday class, the rabbi's class, and you will be treated like the adult you are. We will not shy from controversy. Ask about the meaning of the Torah. Ask about Jewish values. Ask about Israel. Ask your toughest questions. Together we will search for the answers and find some of them, not all. And not just in my class. Bring the hard stuff to Rabbi Gorbin, especially the things that I can't answer. Bring it to Cantor Berman in a Bereshit class. Do not spare us. We are ready for you. Bring it on. It's your birthright. Don't squander it. Atem nitzavim kulchem hayom. Who all is standing here this night? Dan is a young man of 22, and he has little patience for tradition and commentary. He wants direct action to do tikkun olam, world repair. He doesn't want to learn Torah or sing Jewish music. He thinks we should be on the streets confronting injustice every day. Everything else is secondary to Dan. And Dan wants to know why I haven't taken to the streets with him. Join the resistance. Put on the pussy hat that he keeps trying to give me. When I try to explain, he interrupts. He says, my words are merely excuses. It is a direct challenge, one that makes me angry. It makes me want to raise my voice in response. Dan feels we should confront Israel every day over the occupation of Palestinians in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. He demands why I do not join him in the BDS movement, boycott, divestment, and sanction. For him, BDS is so obvious as not to brook discussion. It's something we can do, he says. I envy Dan his certainty, his absolute conviction that what he believes is right and what he is doing is good. It's not like I don't remember being that certain myself. 1971, we took to the streets to end the war in Vietnam. The police confronted us. When I saw the police, I quietly made my way back to the back of the crowd. My friends were arrested. I was embarrassed because I was afraid. But I did show up in court to support them. Almost everyone was charged with blocking traffic, and the cases were dismissed en masse, except my dear friend Danny Levine, the son of one of our rabbis, Joe Levine. He was charged with the crime of, any lawyers here? If you are a lawyer, raise your hand. You'll love this. Edgar, raise your hand. You're an attorney, right? Lawyers, okay? He was charged with lurking with intent to commit mischief. The judge threw that one out too. All this flashed through my mind as Dan castigated me for not taking to the streets. When he finished, I told him, wherever hatred marches in Pittsburgh, I'll be proud to march with him. But no violence. And to my surprise, Dan agreed. This summer, our group from Temple Sinai protested in the streets of Jerusalem. We joined a protest of more than 1,200 against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We protested his abandoning the non-Orthodox Jewish community on issues of conversion and our right to pray at the Kotel, men and women together. I think Dan would approve. But Dan and I will never agree on BDS. I insist that history, context, and complexity matter. Over 100 years of history and hatred matter. I refuse to have the Israel I love reduced to a slogan or an easy, dangerous platitude like BDS, which hurts working Palestinians and endangers Israeli lives. I reject right-wing racist Israelis, and I want Dan to reject those who want nothing less than Israel's destruction. I am passionately attached to the middle path, 2 states for 2 peoples, living in limited peace with imperfect justice. That said, I love Dan. He is filled with anger over the stupidity, hatred, racism, homophobia, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, the moral blindness he sees in our country, and he is standing here tonight. So Dan and I will work with PIN, Repair the World, and Bend the Arc to change Pittsburgh for the better. And we'll work with Seeds of Peace, the Merkaz Karama Center, Sikui, and the Israeli Religious Action Center, and other groups to advance the cause of tolerance and peace in Israel, not cause by cause, but person by person. Atem nitzavim kulchem hayom. Who else is standing here this night? Mary is a convert, having come to Judaism more than a decade ago. She is so tired of people saying to her, you don't look Jewish. She has no patience for people who question why she has a Christian first name. She could just change it to Miriam, from which Mary is derived, but she feels she shouldn't have to change her name to be accepted by our tribe. Our tribe. That's what Mary sees. When she began her studies, she hoped she could become Jewish and be accepted. After her conversion, she asked me, now that I'm Jewish, can I pray to the God of our patriarchs and matriarchs, Abraham and Sarah and everybody else, even if I'm not descended from them? We looked up the answer together. Moses Maimonides, the Rambam as he's called, our greatest medieval sage, the greatest commentator and lawgiver we have, was asked the same question by a convert. And Rambam answers from 900 years ago, no, you are not allowed to pray to the God of our patriarchs and matriarchs. You are required to. Absolutely. He ruled that they are now your ancestors, and you have every right and privilege a born Jew has. And Mary is triumphant. The answer she was looking for is right there in a document from the 12th century. Mary no longer grimaces when people say stupid things about her name because she knows she belongs. Nothing anyone can say will make her question herself again. Maimonides validates Mary and her longing to be Jewish, and that's good enough for her and me, and it should be for all of us. Fear, passion, anger, longing, all of them here tonight in you. All of them in addition to our aching to find sweet forgiveness. I think I misinterpreted our verse tonight. Maybe it should not be read, "You are all standing here this day." No, we should read it as, all of you, all of each of you. All of what is inside of you, your fear, your passion, your anger, your longing. To be authentic Jews today, we need all of you, every aspect of you. And I say that our very survival depends on it. Leon Wieseltier is a major thinker in American Jewish life. To him, the major threat to our survival is not anti-Semitism on the right or left, nor agitation against Israel. It is our refusal to embrace our heritage, to learn, engage, drink in our unique Jewish knowledge, the source of the values we claim to uphold. Wieseltier reminds us that 4 generations ago, our great-grandparents were impoverished in goods, but rich in Jewish knowledge and spirit. Today, many of us are rich in goods, but incapable of listing the books of the Torah, much less what is inside them. And Hebrew? Forget about it. That is why it is so critical that Atem Nitzavim Kulchem, all of us standing here this night, pour out our fear, passion, anger, and longing into embracing our heritage, engaging with it, learning some of it, making it our own. Being Jewish is not a preference like favoring bagels over baguettes. No, it's an essential way of being for those who are willing to stand here with all you are. Atem Nitzavim, all of you who are standing here this night, Kulchem, all that is in you, not all of you just together. Atem Nitzavim, all of you, your psyche, your soul, your longing, your joy, your despair. Atem Nitzavim, all of your intellect, curiosity, and spiritual searching. Atem Nitzavim Kulchem, all of us this night, which will never come again. I finally got in the car with Dad. We drove home in silence. When we got out, I begged him not to tell Mom I had been such a jerk. He smiled and said, "Our secret, okay?" I threw my arms around his neck and kissed his cheek, a moment that will live forever in memory. This day, our 30th Kol Nidre together, will live in memory as well. Thank you for opening your hearts and lives to me. Thank you for forgiving my mistakes. Thank you for standing together with me here and now. This Kol Nidre, we stand together, all of us, all of all of us. All of all of us. Amen. As we prepare for our dear congregant Michael Lippman, who's going to play the cello version of Kol Nidre, I wanted to recognize that we have past presidents on our bema tonight: Bob Bernstein and Louise Malakoff, our honorary lifetime trustee Carol Rosenthal, our present president Philip Lehman. In terms of the apologies, I want to apologize for Rosh Hashanah morning being so long. It'll never happen again, I promise. We talked about it.
How do you follow all of that? I'm Philip Lehman. I have the privilege of following in the footsteps of the 32 past presidents of this congregation, some of whom Rabbi Gibson just introduced. Last week, we read about the binding of Isaac, how Abraham was tested by God. He passed that test, by the way. In that vein, I actually have a quiz for you on this most introspective of nights. As with Abraham, there's only one question. Why are you here? I mean that seriously. Why are you here? I'd like to ask you to think about that for a minute. And no, you don't get points for saying, well, because it's Kol Nidre. But I'll give you a break. This is an open book exam. We have some here. It's also a take-home exam. So send me your answers over the next week or two, and there might even be a prize for the best one. And there's some test prep. So I'll give you some sample answers. Since this reminds me of school, maybe you'll forgive me for using the vernacular of some of our millennial friends. They say things like, why do you like football? Because Steelers. So why are you here? Here are some sample answers 1 through 3. Because Rabbi Jamie, because Rabbi Karen, and because Cantor Laura. Our clergy are our teachers and leaders and advisors and guides and friends. Sample answers 4 and 5, because services and because music. You're experiencing those in all of their richness this Yom Kippur and every week after this. Sometimes tonight, I've seen people just close their eyes and absorb all of the music and the richness and the services. Sample answer 6, because our kids and the future. We continue to think here about how to grow and develop learning and engagement opportunities for our young scholars. Many of you know that this school year, we introduced a new way of thinking about how our sons and daughters learn about Judaism. Our program next door has an entirely new structure. If you don't have kids in school here, the model is essentially mini classes, project-based learning with themes like Hamel Torah. Our classrooms and other venues are, in fact, the rooms where it happens. Don't you want to go with our kids? Sample answer number 7 is because inclusion. Because we live the words that are over our big front doors and on the banner outside. Our house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. We welcome people of all backgrounds, colors, and abilities in peace. Sample answer 8 is because biennial. Biennial is an expression that we are part of something larger than ourselves and even larger than this congregation. Reform Judaism is the largest denomination with more than a third of the Jews in North America. Despite the name, our movement is 144 years old. If you really want an experience, join us for Friday night services at the upcoming biennial in Boston this December with 5,000 of our closest friends. For example, at biennial 6 years ago, one Devar speaker credited our movement with leading many of the steps, including the civil rights legislation, that made it possible for him to reach the job he held for 8 years. That guy was Barack Obama, by the way. Sample answer 9, because of things like Harvey and Irma and Maria, and the Reformed congregations and everyone else in those affected areas. And because Charlottesville, Virginia, and the events there, and so many other places, including Pittsburgh. My thoughts about what to say to you tonight changed the evening of August 18th when this sanctuary hosted an interdenominational service with remarks and attendance by leaders and members from area churches and mosques in the wake of the racist and anti-Semitic events in Charlottesville. Earlier that same day, Pittsburgh gathered downtown with Mayor Peduto to express our collective outrage. In the evening, this sanctuary, with Rabbi Gibson's leadership, was where people came. So many that we had to open the back doors as this evening. This, I thought at the time, is part of why I am here. Our house that evening was indeed a house of much needed prayer and gathering for all well-meaning people. Sample answer 10, because as Rabbi Gibson said, look around, you're not alone. We do things together. Women of Temple Sinai, Brotherhood, Party, which is our youth group, our centers, our inclusion and interfaith efforts, and so much more. We're here to support each other in happy times and in challenging times. Those are just some hints, and Rabbi Gibson's sermon gave you several more. The rest are fill in the blanks. And we're easy graders, so I ask again you to think about why are you here. One more thing, to make it easier for you, there's no admission test. Thanks to the work of many of our leaders, we took the radical step this year of introducing something called Pledge 2017. This model that we're among the first few dozen congregations in the U.S. to adopt is that you should determine your financial support for Temple Sinai. To be sure, we supply background material. We tell you what it costs per family to run the place, to keep the lights on, to pay our dedicated clergy, staff, and so forth. And then with that knowledge, we ask you to contribute from your heart in conjunction with your wallet. I can report that this has been actually very well received. We've worked really hard to remove traditional dues as a barrier to your being here. So it's traditional for presidents to ask for something on high holidays. Here's my ask. Be here. I mean more than showing up. I mean be here in the sense that Abraham meant it when he said to God, as we read last week, Hineni, here I am, body, mind, and spirit. And I mean support each other and your Temple Sinai. Financially from your heart, physically with your hands. For example, we need some help building the sukkah shortly. Creatively with your minds, and with open arms for each other and for our friends in need. When you're here, whatever your reasons, please say, I am here, Hineni. I look forward to a good year, a sweet year for Temple Sinai and for all of us, where I hope to talk more and exchange email with many of you here. Shana Tova.
Hi, I'm Louise Malakoff, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm really appreciative of you taking a few minutes of your time. It is with real gratitude that I stand here for that. Like so many of you, I have a special relationship with Rabbi Jamie Gibson, as I think his talk tonight brought to our attention. And it's within this spirit of this special relationship that we're dedicating this year to recognizing Rabbi Jamie for his amazing 30 years of service here at Temple Sinai. I'm joined by my co-chairs Eileen and Jimmy Ross, Karen and Tony Ross, and my husband Michael Malakoff in announcing a series of programs and events to celebrate this year. Our theme is going to be as we honor our past and embrace our future. Of course, the 30th anniversary year has already begun, but the events will start on the weekend of Friday, November 3rd through Sunday, November 5th, when we will be hosting Cantor Benji Ellen Schiller. She's well known to many of you. She's a distinguished professor of cantorial arts at the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, Debbie Friedman School of Sacred Music. I hope you will join us as we welcome her for a special Shabbat service and dinner, which will be coupled with a Saturday evening concert called Jamie and Friends. In the spring, we'll host the Wiles Lecture on the top of interfaith and interracial dialogue. Then on Sunday, April 29th, we will be holding a gala tribute dinner here at Temple Sinai to celebrate Rabbi Gibson's 30 years. The dinner will be the centerpiece of our annual campaign and set the stage as we move forward with our efforts to build the endowment that helps us to support everything we do here. I'd like to invite all of you to join our tribute committee. We have, as of this morning, 85 people who have already signed up. Everyone is welcome to participate in all the activities and to join us in supporting Rabbi Gibson and Temple Sinai. If you're interested, let me know or let Barry Rudell know, and please watch highlights and the website for more information.
We're moving toward the last part of our service. If you will look at page 116 in your books, as you are able, we'll ask you to rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
On 118 in the middle.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו For several years now, our custom has been to read the names of Yartzites, those who died at the season of years past, in the week starting with the Shabbat. If there is the name of somebody that we read that you are in mourning for, we'll ask you to rise so we can recognize you as one saying Kaddish. After that, we'll read the list of those who died in more recent days. This Shabbat, we commemorate the lives of Evelyn Glauser Bernstein, Faye Cohen, Frederica Barnett Cohen, and Henry Cohen, Gil Dansker, Gerald Davidson, and Hannah Dolowski, Myra Drotman, Charles Engelman, and Rose Exler, Benjamin Frank, Abe Friedman, and Sarah M. Goldberg, Albert F. Goldstein, Molly Halpern, and Paul Helfer, Charles Hinkus, and Theodore Kraut, Edna Licht, Emma Mamelin, Alvin Mann, and Violet Miller, Clarice Oshry, Ethel Pariser, Irving L. Podolsky, Sally F. Rayfield. If I say the name of your loved one, please rise. Frida Recht, Eugene Rosen, Teddy Rosen Rosenblum, Robert Russakoff, Rose Schanfarber, Don Schwartz, Rose N. Schwartz, Alex Sherman, Frida Spokane, and Abraham Weisblatt. And now remember those whose recent deaths we still mourn. Rennie Green, the mother of Alan, Lenny Bernstein, the husband of Linda, the father of Marcy and David and Amy, and 5 grandchildren. Josie Shames, Joseph Rakowski, the brother of Kathy Lipsitz, Harriet Sharap, the mother of Ronnie Sharap, Dore Epstein, the mother of Mark Epstein, and the grandmother of Anya and Jacob. Ann Kit Minden, the mother of John, along with Deborah Minden, grandmother of Ben and Laura, Lauren and Jake, and Myron Tauby, the grandfather of Dima Harmon. And I forgot the name of Judy Kaplan. I did not want to forget that. And because we do not ever want our mourners to stand alone, we accompany them in their Kaddish on page 122. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yomad yivrach iruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'izman kari v'yamru amen, yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitalev, Yitalal, Shmei Kudsha, Brichu, Le'ela ule'ela, Mikol Birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiram bi'alma v'yimru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleina ve'el Kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh Shalom, Aleina ve'el Kol Yisrael v'yimru,
Amen.
Amen. May the source of peace in the high heavens cause peace to descend on all of us, all Israel, healing to our shattered, broken world through our hands upon all those who mourn their beloved dead, as together we say, Amen. Amen. If you look in your book on the facing page, you will find the first 2 lines of our final song. It is our hope that if you started this day in tears, you will reap tomorrow in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. That's the whole song. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Let's have some harmonies. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in. Just you. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Thank you.